Hello, welcome to St Michael's Hill. You join me today for the February update. It's a little bit delayed. Usually I like to bring them out at the last weekend of the month, but as it was the Model Scotland last weekend, I thought I'd shift things around a little bit, and as I'd completed the nuclear fast barrier wagons, I thought I'd bring the video of those instead. So they've been pulled into shop this morning from the load haul class 37. Here they are. If you'd like to see more about these, then check out the how to playlist that I've put a link in the card to above. It's an interesting little series of couple of videos and how I basically created these from a couple of old wagons. And I'm really pleased with how they come out. So in this month's update, I'm going to give you a quick update on the layout. Some work has been done. I still haven't moved, but basically I was kind of given a little bit of time to kind of get the layout a bit more progressed on, which has been done. In addition, I now have a moving date, so by the time the March updates comes, the layout will be in its new home. So it's definitely positive news, and hopefully it means that I can get on towards finishing it whilst working on some other projects as well. The major thing this month has been adding the sides, so they're now fixed in position. I basically just need to fill the gap at the back there on both sides or both ends, and just kind of align the woodwork a little bit. The sides are slightly higher than the back, which isn't a massive problem. At some point there'll be a fascia that goes on the whole of the front of here to basically black it off, and you won't notice that, but I will fill those gaps in the corners and kind of get them all sorted out. I might look to add a few more details to the back seam, but generally that'll come in the form of low relief stuff in front of it if I decide to go along that route. The other things that I've been working on, I'll show you in a second, but effectively I've added a road surface to above the tunnel now, so that's done. I'll show you that just now. So in the same way that I did the roads in the yard, I've added a road texture and surface to the top of the bridge. I just need to kind of blend the edges here. Obviously it looks a bit kind of sharp, so once this is all done, I'll give it a kind of a matte varnish, and then should allow me to kind of bring the scenery up over the edges a little bit and kind of make it a little more blended in. I think at the moment it looks very much too kind of severe, but yeah, that's something that needs to be done. The other thing I do need to do at some point is just to repair this section here, just a bit of kind of grass issue that's happened. The other thing I might do at some point is work with a bit more static grass on this area. I'm not massively happy with kind of how this has come out. It doesn't too bad from far away, but the closer you get, it just looks a bit, I don't know, I'm not massively happy, so I might use a bit more static grass to kind of bring this up a little bit. So another thing that's arrived at the layout this month and is new, but it's been kind of in the works for a while, is this. So I'm not sure how easy it is to see, but this is me. This was a figure that was done by ModelU. So I basically had a scan at Worley back in the autumn, and basically it's been kind of printed off, and then it's been painted by a wonderfully talented lady called Claudia, and effectively she has created a mini me for the layout, which is great. The detail is unbelievable. The scan's obviously great, but it's really pulled out levels of detail that's just unimaginable. So you can't obviously see from this angle, but from the back it even picks out the wallet in my pocket, and the way Claudia's painted it has kind of revealed this. And again, I don't know if you can see here, but the design on my jumper has also been included, which is just it's just incredible. Both the scanner's kind of picked out such a likeness of me that in 00 scale it is very recognisably me, but then that Claudia has managed to pull out the detail and paint it in such a way it's outstanding. So I would recommend it. I know that that ModelU will be at a lot of exhibitions. So I'm sure they were just at Glasgow last weekend, but certainly they're going to be at Ali Pali at the end of March. And honestly, just it's worth getting a scan done. Once the scan's been done, the figures themselves I think are £3.50 each, which is, you know, not a crazy amount. And then to Claudia to get them painted is another £3.50. So for the detail, it's unbelievable. So massively pleased with those, and and I would recommend anyone else get it done. And you'll probably see me popping up on various positions on the layout. I've not fixed me down. I'm not sure whether it's going to stay here or go on to other layouts. I might just use a little bit of blue tack to kind of make it movable, because yeah, it's great to see. The only other thing it does is obviously makes the other figures, these Bachmann ones, look a little bit poorer quality, let's say. Size is generally okay. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so the fact that these two gentlemen probably are around 6 foot compared to my kind of 5'9" or whatever, it probably works quite well. But yeah, the detail on them leaves a little bit to be desired, especially from this sort of distance. It looks crazy. So but yeah, definitely it'd be well worth getting hold of some of these figures if you can. Not only do they do scans of people, they've done various other scans, so you can pick up drivers and other railway workers if you don't want to get yourself on. They just do great figures. So I'll put a link in the description below, and yeah, well worth checking out. So the other thing I'm doing is just weathering up this skip a little bit. So if you see a skip that's kind of well used, it's very rusted on the outsides, around the edges where there might be kind of dings and all that sort of stuff from where it's loaded onto the lorry, and then inside is usually completely rusted and kind of almost brown. So I basically got some mid-brown MIG weathering powders and just mixed that with a bit of PVA to kind of give a little bit of stick to the surface, and I'm just starting to basically stipple with an old brush just inside here, just to kind of build up that pattern that you get from the rust. And yeah, I'll show you kind of the results when it's done, but effectively I'm just going to build this up on the inside with pretty much a full covering, and then on the outside I will do it a little bit less, just where it would be likely to kind of have impacts and all that sort of stuff. So I'll show you that when it's done, and back on the layout. So here is basically the before, what the skip looks like on the sides, and turn it around. Yeah, now you can see kind of the beginnings of the first layers of paint going on. So I'm just going for that kind of rusted, kind of bashed up look, and so far I think it's starting to look a lot better than it was. Like I said, the inside is pretty much entirely kind of a muddy, rusty colour so far. I will be adding to that though a bit more colour, and we'll go from there. So there we go, with a little bit more of some other coloured powders and blacks, and I've kind of dirtied it right up. So this is going to kind of be an abandoned style skip. I'll fill it with a load of bits and pieces, but I've pretty happy with the way it's come out. Using the PVA glue with the powders, it's kind of given the texture in there a bit of a raise, so it kind of looks like kind of rust and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, generally very happy with how this has turned out as a completely kind of dirty old skip. I would probably say if you're modelling something that is in use a lot more, maybe just go a little bit lighter. The insides generally are pretty kind of uniformly kind of browny rusty colour, but the outsides generally are kept a little bit cleaner if they're being used. But for this, it's literally going to be sat in that section between the platform and the yard, so literally been left to kind of rot, so it's not been cleaned at all. So that's the state I'm going for. Quite happy with that, and yeah, I'll show you off on the layout now. So there you go, the skip all weathered up is on the layout. I have hit it with a coat of matte varnish as well, so it's all kind of sealed in. When using weathering powders, it's always important to make sure that they're sealed in, otherwise they can kind of come off. So quite happy with how that looks. Like I said, in that sort of location, it's It's pretty grimy, and yeah, it looks the part on the layout, so very happy with how that looks. In the background there you can see one of the HSTs that I'm working on as part of the HST project. Part 1 and 2 are already up, and as part of part 3 I'm working on this, so as a little sneak peek. I've managed to add a coupling at the moment. It's something that I'm kind of working on. Basically I've fixed a NEM pocket inside of the access panel, and there is a bar that's got a slight bend in it. I might look at other kind of versions of the coupling, but that basically is to fit straight into the NEM pocket on a Class 37. So as it is at the moment, I'm fairly happy with how it's kind of working, although there are a couple of issues which I will reveal all in the part 3 of the video, which is probably due up in the next week or two when I've finished that off. In the meantime, there are some other things that I'm working on, but as I get progress on that, it'll pop up in the feed. The last thing I'm going to do in this little monthly update is just run you through a couple of new bits and pieces that I have got for the layout, and that are going to become little modelling projects whilst it's still over the next few months. I'm sure when I get the layout fully up and running in the new house. Until a little time's gone by, but I'm still continuing the modelling, so there are going to be a few other little projects, so I'll run you through what I've got for those. So the first new item that I've picked up this month is these DCC Concepts lights. So they're end of train lights that I believe are DCC operated. So they're going to be applied to the back of various trains that are going to be running the layout. Now they are fixed, and obviously a lot of this wiring is required in the wagon. So once I have added it to a wagon or whatever, it's going to be always on there. So I just need to make sure that any units that get this are always going to be kind of on the end of the train. So the first obvious candidate is the brake van from the Nuclear Flask train. I will get that one done. There's space within the van itself to kind of hide some of the wiring, which is good. The other things that I am looking to do are a Mark 1 barrier wagon that I'm kind of scratch building at the moment. That will probably have one in it, and then also probably a tanker wagon, or if I'm feeling brave, an intermodal wagon. So I'll try those 3 to start with. If I'm happy with kind of how they are, I might pick up a few more packs. I think I picked this up for about 15 quid. So it's just something that's quite nice, and will be certainly a good addition to any rolling stock. The next item I picked up is these. So it's just three of these. They're just kind of Hornby ZKV wagons. They're fairly old tooling. They don't have NEM pockets. They don't have anything like that, but they're not terrible. But I'm basically going to use these to practice a few things and go from there. So I might look to add some new buffers. Certainly going to try some weathering techniques, and I'm also going to be trying to add some new couplings on them to kind of bring them a bit up to date. And as part of the way to do this, I've got from Peter Spares a packet of NEM pockets, so I'm going to just look to fix those onto the bottom of these and just see if I can kind of come up with a fairly decent kind of version of a new coupling on these. So other than that, they're fairly decent wagons. I think I've picked up 3 of them for fairly cheap. The other thing, if it works quite well, I have a pack of Hornby, I think they're, yes, HEA hopper wagons. There we go, the in EWS. Again, it's kind of older tooling with large tension lock couplings and no NEM pockets. So if it works quite well, I will do the same on these. And finally, I have, you might want to send these on the layout, a couple of these tank wagons that are kind of halfway through being restored and fixed. So I still need to work on the gangways and add the ladders back in, but part of what I did do at the very beginning was try and add some sort of custom cheap couplings. Now, they haven't really worked, to be honest. I've just used bits of old wire. This is probably the first thing I did when I got back into the modelling, so there's just, it's just a pain. They're not very rigid, sorry, they're not very flexible in terms of corners, and it turns out that, you know, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but I do really like these wagons. I think the weathering I've done on them is fairly good. It's, you know, added the graffiti and the detailing and all that sort of stuff, so and the decals. So I want to kind of save them, so I'm probably going to look at removing these couplings, which are literally just kind of super glued on here, and then I'll probably do a bit of work on the buffer beams and try and stick some NEM pockets on them, and then add KDs or something. So that's what I'm going to do. Probably over the next few months I'll make that into a video series working on these wagons, and after that I'll get that up as well. So that's probably going to be what I'm going to be working on over the next month, the HST project and these wagons, and there's a few other things that are coming up in the near future as well that I will be bringing in. The next big job is still the fiddle yard. So as you can see now, the tunnel mouth there, the back scene kind of has a tunnel mouth. I will fill those tunnel mouths in, probably with some plaster card, maybe some kind of red brick texture, or probably more of a sandstone type texture, and build a tunnel that kind of hides what you can see in here, and then they'll be ready for kind of the fiddle yard to go on. I'm still unsure about how I'm going to do the fiddle yard. It's something that I'm kind of looking into. It might be, there's various ways I can do it, of course, but I'll have a think about that, and I'm sure there'll be a video section on how that's done. But other than that, it's kind of getting to a point where I'm fairly happy with kind of how the layout is. Like I said, I might add some low relief buildings behind here. I think that might really help. And then I need to put a fascia board on the front for sure. But other than that, it's getting to a point where I'm quite happy with it. Like I said, in my new house, I will be looking to do a new layout of some description. There are various options that I need to look into, whether it's a fixed permanent layout in a loft or garage or something, or whether it will be a kind of an exhibition style layout. I'm not so sure yet, but I'll look into that. And if any of you have any kind of opinions on what you think I should do, let me know. What do you guys think of loft layouts, garage layouts? I know that I have a fairly standard single garage. There is a loft space, but I'm not sure exactly what that is going to be yet. And then also the other option is to do kind of an exhibition style, using kind of a Tim Horn baseboards or something like that. So maybe in the comments below, if you could let me know what you think, which options you think would be best, and then again, if you have any ideas about what I should model, maybe let me know. The kind of restrictions are going to be only based on kind of time period, so I want to kind of keep costs down, so I certainly won't be getting any more stock. So the kind of late sectorization, beginning of privatization is your only kind of only restriction. So let me know what you want to see. Is it a TMD? Is it industrial type layout, big station? Let me know. I'll certainly take all of your considerations on board. But I think that's probably everything today on St Michael's Hill. So I will leave you with a couple of running shots, and I will see you very soon. Next Saturday there'll be another video going up as always, and I hope to see you then. Thanks very much. Goodbye.